So guys, Professor Odenta has come out to expose the Tinubu's government and how they are profiting from what Dele Farotimi is going through at the moment, because the Tinubu's government has been silent over, Dele Farotimi being detained and all that. We know that Dele Farotimi has been very critical of Tinubu, especially the way he was brought into power. I mean, the way INEC conducted the 2023 presidential election. And this moment that he's going through this, Mr. Odenta is saying that the Tinubu's government is profiting from what is happening to Dele Farotimi. So guys, I'm just going to let you watch this video for yourself. Take a look at what this professor is saying, and you are going to make a whole lot of sense out of it, because guess what? They don't want democracy to thrive in Nigeria. People shouldn't speak up even when they are being persecuted. People should just keep quiet and just carry on with their lives. Take a look.
Charges across multiplicity of courts. That's the weaponization of the justice system of a sort. To do what? Achieve the purpose of neutralizing politically. So in this our regard, it will not happen the way you speculate it will happen, because there's a purpose, a strategic end. The end is that the Dele Farotimi must be silenced, not him as an individual, but what tendency represents. That brusque, raw energy of resistance and protest must be caged. So
if they succeed
in destroying him, not just legally, but as a human, people will be frightened to say, look at what happened to Dele Farotimi. He's bigger than you. Dare you tread where he treaded? That's a sense of lawfare. So lawfare, it may not be directly in the hands of the government in this regard, because of course Baba Babalola is not government, of course establishment man anyway, but government profits out of the mess Dele has found himself in, because if he is debarred, if he's silenced, if he's jailed, there are thousands of Dele Farotimis in this country who are equally potent in the agitation for a better democratic society. Those must be frightened to the bone marrow. That is a sense of lawfare.
I do not want to, dismiss, and I don't think anyone can dismiss the things that you have said, especially when you cite the examples that you have cited.
Sure.
However, some people will say that, some of the conclusions that you have reached are quite hasty. The Dele Farotimi case, for instance, this book was written 5 months ago. There was absolutely no reaction from anywhere until recently, when Baba Babalola, raised objection with what it is that was in the book.
5 months.
5 months.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
He didn't see the book.
It's the book.
It wasn't brought to his attention.
Mr. Dele
but
Farotimi,
suddenly, within 24 hours.
Just a moment. Mr. Dele Farotimi was even out there, granting interviews, and there was no, hell didn't come, didn't break loose until this particular instance where I read Babalola, said that, look, I have been defamed. Yeah. And then we saw, how it has been handled. And it wasn't just that, it was that he corrupted, the allegation was that he corrupted justices of the Supreme Court. So the reputation also of the Supreme Court is also at stake here.
Okay.
So in this...
No, I get it too, I get it.
Yes.
Now, if in 5 months, there was not a blip, not a whimper, suddenly in 48 hours, there was extraordinary rendition. There was a hasty thing for me, I may be wrong, with the magistrate court. Within 24 hours, he was already inside jail. After 9 days, he was still put back to jail for another 10 days, not for murder charge, not for high treason, but defamation, as he talked as that's a charge. Criminal defamation, as big as it is nonsense for a public officer or a high-flying legal practitioner. If I were to be Babalola, I would take it in my stride. Look at Obaseki, what the PC chairman said. He can read these figures correctly because he's a thief. He has stolen billions. But the former governor of Edo State, yes, the candidate of the party in PDP, Idahola, has gone to court, which for me is like catalyzed and incentivized by Babalola.
Yeah,
but I'm coming, because if you call me as the president, as the governor, I'm a thief. Excuse me, it is part of the job. If the kitchen is too hot for you, do not enter it. As a Secretary of Alliance for Democracy, leaders of the party in the country, years and decades older than me, led by my own father, but I can call his father, like I and just sat down and called the worst precursor and said, nobody said, Udenta is cash and carry. He goes to Villa to collect money to destroy AD. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't go to any court.
I don't think that you
I'm saying that you have the right to say, I protest against this defamation. I can take it to court.
Yeah.
But when you take it to magistrate court, high court, another high court, they buy him from practice, stripped him of his humanity.
Has it been debarred from practice?
They said that's the petition now, and they have accepted it within 24 hours. They accepted the petition. I can even.
Do you think? Just a moment. Do you think that this
and the judge within 1 day,
Professor,
you know what the judge
do
did?
you think
granted the prayer that the book should be pulled back?
Just a moment. Do you think that this could be the judiciary fighting back? Because also don't forget that the judiciary's reputation is because this will certainly have raised a lot of interest in the book, and a lot of people
fighting back.
Do you think that's the question?
I'm saying even the term fighting back is anathema to the judiciary. No matter how well you're beaten, you don't fight back. The law is precise and clear. The jurisprudential condition of the state is very, very clear.
But
you don't fight back. You know what you do? When you fight back, because of the instrumentality of power you have, the vast resources at your disposal, that is lawfare.
All right. Ayo's got questions for you as well. Go ahead, please.
Well, it's in the same light, Chamberlain, actually, because it wasn't just Are Babalola that was defamed. Another lawyer, legal practitioner, has also sued the author of that book that we're talking about. And there are a number of people who have also said, look, you know what, our names are there, but let the legal luminary be the one that is at the front. And as you said, as Marquez said, Prof, it is only natural that the judiciary would want to clean its own stable using whatever instance available to them. But it's the one that feels it and knows it, Prof, don't you think? Being defamed after about 60 years or 40-something years of practicing law in the country, it is a grievous offense. It's a grievous allegation that anyone, even if it was you wouldn't want to take it lightly because you built that credibility over decades. And then one book wants to take it all away from you. It will be difficult to act ultra-biased, don't you think?
Okay, I get the point you're trying to make, but it doesn't gel in the context of this, the broad conversation about lawfare and so on. If I build a reputation for 60 years, it will take not one book, it will take about 60,000 books to put me down. Absolutely. Because my credentials, my endeavor, my patriotic services, everything there have already been cast in stone. It doesn't mean I won't be angry and bitter that I'm being defamed. Yes, surely, you're human, you're not God. So what you do in that regard is to do the minimum, not the maximum. The minimum would be to have tried him in Lagos, for example, where it is just a normal civil trial, not to rendition him to Kitty. Then get a magistrate to get him to jail within 24 hours. Then get another high court from the IGP now, no longer. Babalola himself as Baba, to do the job. Get another judge in Abuja. The moment you escalate this warfare, legal warfare, to the point in which it has become almost toxic, that is where the lawfare comes in. We even diminish your own humanity as the grand master of the law, to say the largeness of your heart, the compassion of your soul, which is in over 60 decades or more of practice, cannot just be hampered by this particular instance.
Isn't that in a way, Prof, trivializing what the issues are, Prof? Just one second. Isn't that trivializing what the issues are? Because on the one hand, as you said, it was something that occurred in Lagos, but the impact has gone global. The book is already acclaimed to be a bestseller on Amazon, and Amazon is not based in Lagos. So, don't you think that the argument of jurisdiction is already traversed with the fact that the book has gone global?
I'm talking about the mindset, the psychological disposition of the person who feels is defamed. If a book has gone global, your Abuja-based court decision will not stop the book being global. The book can be pirated into 1 billion copies by people across the world. Amazon and other even dark sites, not Amazon, could decide to populate it, pirate it. So you've not achieved anything. You've actually done what is called, is it the strike, or I remember the actress who went to court over a matter that was limited in scope and ended up getting the whole world to know about it. So this is a matter you handle very carefully, because once it's out there in the public domain, out there in the cyberspace, out there in the media world, there's no way you can control it, no matter the kind of injunctions or court decisions you get. But beyond that even, because I don't want to narrow my conversation with you on the specific conditioning of Babalola and that of Farotimi, is for me the broad spectrum of the way democracy is decomposing. And I thought about lawfare, I thought about civil spaces shrinking, I thought about multi-party democracy under stress and pressure. PDP, Labour Party being pressured from outside. And the beneficiary of the pressure on the two parties is the president and the presidency and his own party. So my own, I'm following the media. The biggest guardrail of democratic governance and profit is the media. The moment this thought estate loses its mojo in what? The moment you lose that capacity to talk and speak truth to power, our democracy is going to leap into totalitarianism, not just liberalism. It is something we should be worried about. We deal with the issue of the budget next week. If you invite me, I can look at it, study it best I can. We deal with the tax issues. But you see, I didn't examine the tax issues. I'm not a tax expert. I look at the context of the production of the bill, and then the way and manner you handle is deliberate push. And the moment you transcend the political state or look at the state with contempt, politicians will bite back at you.
I already asked you a question if you're surprised that, President Bola Tinubu is leading the country, this democracy.
I said I'm not surprised because I thought about contamination. I said, if we were to have this conversation 20 odd years ago, I said I'll be surprised. 20 years later, a lot of water must have passed under the bridge.
All right, it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this play out, because it does come across as though the judiciary or the system will be making Mr. Farotimi's point, if, from what you say, if they go along that trajectory continuously, if they are seen to quote and unquote fight back, how will one then get justice if judiciary, as it were, is fighting back?
It's a massive power.
So those are some of the issues out there for people to continue deliberating upon. But Prof, always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you guys.
So, guys, you have seen it for yourselves. Yes, these are the things we keep saying, that this government, especially the current administration, they don't want the rule of law. They don't want things to take shape the way it's supposed to be in this country. And all blame goes to our judiciary. Look at Dele Farotimi. This man was picked up in Lagos. And before you know it, they've landed him in Ekiti. Before you know it, they've brought him before a judge. Before you know it, they've sent him to prison. Before you know it, a bail application was forwarded. They said the bail application was not properly forwarded, was not properly presented, and they denied him bail. And since then, since they denied Dele Farotimi bail, it has been from one problem to the other. Do you know how many lawyers that have filed cases against Dele Farotimi currently? Currently they've banned his books. They said they are going to seize the proceeds. They said they are going to remove him from the list of lawyers. I mean, so many things. For somebody, they've not even heard his own side of the story. He's been alleged to have defamed somebody, and they've not tried him. They've not allowed him bring his evidence. They've not allowed him say anything. They are just going all out on Dele Farotimi. So, guys, that tells you a whole lot about the kind of country we are living in, a country where there is nothing like rule of law. That's why when these people say they are going out of the country to go look for investors, you keep wondering if they even understand what it means to attract investors into a country. You start with the rule of law. You start by making sure your institutions are strong and firm, and your institutions are credible. You start building institutions that people will respect, that the world will look at and see that we are serious of business. You don't just begin to waste taxpayers' money all the time that you are going out to look for investors without you fixing your house. Look at insecurity everywhere. I mean, insecurity. Go to the north, go to the southeast, go to other parts of the country. Insecurity, especially this time that the economy is so bad. People are taking into rituals and buying people. You go to the southwest, you see people with human skulls and all kinds of things in this country. And our leaders don't care. All they want is to grab power, hold power, and they feel that it's going to be all fine. No, Nigerians will speak up, and when you speak up, they will come for you. So Mr. Odenta is saying that they just want to instill fear in Nigerians so that they won't speak up, because they know that when they speak, the establishment will come for them and people will no longer want to speak. So he is saying that they are just weaponizing the judicial system, weaponizing our courts. Look at how many lawyers that have filed suits against Dele Farotimi because he wrote a book that he has not been given chance to air his own view, to say his own mind, to give his own evidence and all that. He has not been given that chance. But guess what? A whole lot of things have been happening behind the scene, and judges are giving all these this law ex parte order that they keep giving, because Dele Farotimi is nowhere available. So guys, I don't know what you make of what is happening in Nigeria today, especially as regards to this Dele Farotimi's case. Do you think after this case people will have the boldness again to speak up? Do you think after this case people will have the boldness to call what is bad that is bad? Do you think people will boldly speak up? Do you think people will even, like the military will say, if you see something, say something. Police will say, if you see something, say something. Do you think people will stand up to assisting the security agents in terms of security if this is how they want to go all out on Dele Farotimi, because he said something, he has told the world that he has evidence to, and they've not given him that opportunity to bring forth his evidence? See what they are doing to him. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.